Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So we've got another tactical debrief today. It is of yesterday's fight, which was the naval battle. So that's basically a big blue fleet against a red fleet. So just to fill you in, if you haven't seen the movie, so we've got the blue fleet here with a bunch of sea flankers and harriers. We've got a red fleet there with a bunch of sea flankers. We've got air-to-air refueling planes there and there. We've got blues had a land base there for Vigans. The mission of the Reds was pretty simple, and that is just to essentially do as much damage to the blue aircraft as possible. There weren't any anti-ship on Red side. The Blues had flankers for escort and cap duties. They had Harriers for anti-submarine and anti-Tomahawk missiles, cruise missiles. And we had Vigans here for anti-ship. So the Vigans, we planned to go in and take out some of the most threatening ships of the Red Fleet. The Harriers were going to take out the Tomahawks, incoming Tomahawks, and the subs, and that was it. Now, I made the movie look pretty cool with some selective editing. In reality, the night was an absolute nightmare, especially for the Blues. Nothing really worked. So the idea was that two of these ships, red ships, I'd programmed to send Tomahawks to destroy the Blue Navy every 20 minutes. Reality is it never happened. For some reason they just refused to fire, so that was very frustrating. So the Harriers had nothing to do really apart from sit and look pretty. The only other thing they had to do was to kill some submarines. Submarines appeared around where the mouse cursor is here and charged towards the ships. However, the submarines bugged. Sometimes the submarines just become invincible for reasons we don't understand. We dropped multiple Mark 82 direct hits on some of them and they wouldn't be destroyed, so that was annoying. So the Harriers didn't really have anything to do, which was a bit annoying. But that pales in comparison to the Vigans. The Vigans, they flew some lovely sorties from here, 150 miles here, and launched their RB-15s at the two most offensive ships in the Red Navy. But those missiles didn't work. They had technical problems setting up their Vigans, and the missiles just didn't work. I'll show you later, try and figure out what went wrong. So the Vigans didn't work either, which was rather annoying. So that just leaves us the flankers, and the flankers are even worse. We discovered a new bug where if you tried to take off, if you landed and then folded your wings up, you couldn't unfold your wings and take off. So we all ended up taking off with our wings folded up, and we all died, obviously, because we had no wings. That took an hour to resolve. Obviously, you didn't see it in the movie. By the time we finally got up, half of us are up, and the Reds had already made it to us and started shooting us down. We did our best, but the Reds won the air battle. So at least we can have a look at the air battle and hopefully have some fun with that. Otherwise, a bit of a nightmare, but let's see what happened as I scroll it through. Right, so the first thing is we've got the Vigans, statics a bit further back, but they're all essentially there. They get within 35 miles. I think the ships start sending SAMs out very shortly. We managed to get here before the Reds cap had refueled. You see they've taken off with low fuel, and then they've started refueling with a tanker, and that's the problem. The Vigans fire their missiles, but rather than the missiles going towards the ships and killing the ships, they all went to the right, way out here, then turned towards the ships, by which time they were fully out of gas, and they just ran into a bunch of SAMs and stuff with low velocity, and they died. And some of these missiles actually ended up crashing into each other and blowing each other up. So I don't know what was wrong, but these guys apparently figured it out, and it's something to do with their waypoints. So they set a waypoint up here for some reason, and then these things decided to go to the waypoint and then go in there. So that was incredibly disappointing because these guys were the only guys that didn't. Well, these guys had the best chance out of all of us, basically. You can see they're finally starting to turn around now, but by that time their motor has pretty much burnt out. So that was really a disappointment, but hopefully that won't happen again. Static then went in. Now, Static, I think, is the only one of us that could use the missiles properly, but she went in and got herself shot, I believe, so let's have a look at that. Yeah, so she's got missiles. She went way too close. You can see the SAM net was set at 25 miles, but she's tried to punch in closer, but just ended up getting wiped out by SAM, so that was a bit frustrating. You see these missiles, there's two of them left. The other two have hit each other and blown up, and by this point, you can see their velocity starting to come down. By the time they reach the ships, they'll be down to about 200 knots and doing nothing. So Static finally turns out, abandons the run, but she can't outrun these RAM-66s. And that is, as I remember, a hit. Pow, dead. So that was a little annoying. So the Vigans cocked up. Right, let's see what's next. I'll just scroll through the RB missiles. You can see in the movie they ran through a gauntlet of various SAMs and stuff, but if you can see their speed by this time, they're down to 240 knots, and they're sitting ducks basically, and they end up getting wiped out by the phalanx miniguns. See that one there is destroyed, or hit at least. I didn't realise we had these guys shooting them, look. That's pretty cool. How did they even know they were there? Look how many hits that one's taken, it's amazing. They're both getting hit now. I think they're probably dead, although it doesn't show it on here. They're probably dead on the first hit, I imagine. Look at the phalanx fire. They'd have to be coming in at, I don't know, transonic speed to beat that kind of phalanx cover. Anyway, the Reds are finally all fueled up, and they're coming into the battle now. Okay, we're on to the next fight now. So the Reds have made it out to the middle of the middle waters. The Blues are still here. We've just managed to get, it's been an hour, and we've just managed to get our planes in the air, which is rather embarrassing, but we're finally up and ready to split into our groups. But we had these guys, the Reds, aggress at this point, which is perfectly fine with them. It was our fault for taking so long. We were a little bit annoyed because there's 6 of them. We gave them orders to be 3 of them. 4 of them only, but these 2 joined at the last minute, which is kind of spelled our doom. I don't think we ever could have taken 6 Reds on, but we gave it a damn good shot anyway. Cap and Elo, I think, are going in wheel repair. I can't really analyse this properly with speeds and stuff because so much is going to be happening, but we'll look at it from a tactical point of view. So you can see the Reds have got proper tactics going on. They've got a good lateral spread, and they've got wingman pairs all set up. We've got absolutely no organisation. We've just been loitering, circling, because we were just waiting for tasking, basically. We weren't expecting to be in a fight. So we're going to see the Reds with a lovely, good tactical spread and use of proper tactics, and the Blues are just going to be literally clumped together and completely useless. Now, the first major mistake we made is that we could have controlled the fight. We got a little bit greedy. We're a bit fed up by this point, so we went in and started attacking to stop that. What we should have done is just headed back and hid behind our carriers, which have a whopping great SAMnet like theirs. It's not as big as the Red SAMnet, but it was a good 15 miles or something. So we should have gone and just hid around behind our carriers, lured the Reds in, burnt down their fuel, and stuff like that, and we would have won. But instead, we charged in like we're not supposed to, basically, with me at the helm, which is a bit embarrassing. So we can have a quick look. So the first engagements are kind of long-range skirmish engagements. So we've got Cap firing at 20 miles as a warning shot. Obviously, we know these shots can't kill. It's just to warn them off and let them know we're in business. Wolf Shadow reciprocating, a long 20-mile ER shot again. Just the same thing, trying to warn us off and, whatnot. So we'll run that through. So what we're going to expect to see, because we're all relatively decent flyers. I mean, the Reds always have the most experienced pilots on them. But we've got some experience on the Blues now. We've got Cap's fairly experienced. And pretty much all of us have got, we can all long range fight now. So what we're going to expect to see is, rather than if you went on, for instance, like a DCS public server or something where you got a lot of inexperienced guys, you'll get these guys just charging into each other, blowing each other up, getting into dogfights. So you won't see that here. What you'll hopefully see is restraint and essentially staying alive. And what we're going to probably see is a big red rolling chainsaw, a conveyor belt of Reds coming like this, firing missiles, and a big chainsaw conveyor belt of Blues going like this, firing missiles, trading missiles on a skirmish line, and no one really taking any risks. That's what it should have been. Eventually, like all fights, organisation breaks down, and it will end up in a scrap in the middle. But we did pretty well. It lasted about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes of chainsawing until people started getting frustrated and going in. So I think at least that will be good to see, and we can pick on any pilots that don't do that properly. I'm sure there will be some guys. Right, so let's start running it through. So we've got, Wolf Shadow is in a pair with Coffee. Can't see what Coffee's doing. So the first mistake made by Reds and Blues is that they were a little too close together. The pairs were a little bit too close together. I'm too close to Elo. Well, maybe that's not too bad, but these two are definitely too close. And so what's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is that my missile here is sending a kind of relatively narrow radar cone out, searching for its target. Sorry, let me say that again, I got that wrong. This missile here is actually guided by my radar on my plane. And my radar is sending out a relatively narrow cone when it's firing a missile. And so in this plane here can get a warning from that. It can pick up that it's in that cone of radar radiation. The only problem is if this guy's close as well, he also picks up that warning, even though it's not actually being shot at. So you can see Coffee here going defensive. He was probably getting a warning from this missile and went defensive, even though he wasn't getting shot at. So that's why we should always have a good lateral spread in our pairs. And blues are even worse. Look, we've just come in a long line. What we should have done is have a pair go out here, a pair go out here, a pair go out here. However, we weren't expecting this fight, to be honest. We were completely caught with our pants down, which is why you can see just a panic, really. No real tactics at all. Anyway, let's carry on. So, yeah, see Coffee's defending there, even though the missile's not coming towards him, it's coming towards Wolf Shadow. Right, so that's fine. So, Elo is my wingman, so he doesn't really need to go cold. He's not being fired on, but he's looking after me, basically. Merlin was, he was on his own in this fight. You can see that some guys are still haven't even taken off yet. That's how caught short we were. Merlin should have been a wingman with Berwick, but obviously he hadn't taken off, so these two just became loners, basically. Then we got the next, the overlap pair going on, so we did keep some organisation at least. So Caps and Gonzalo pair are heading out, I tell them that. I tell Sonic and Sherman to come in as overlap, so they're coming in overlap. As it happens, there's no threat, but there may have been threat, so the overlap pair would be here to cover our 6. So what we'll see now is the overlap blue pair coming in until they get positioned to take a shot or whatever, probably take a shot and then turn cold. Then Elo and Cap pair will come back in on the overlap, and we're going to keep create that. Right, let's scroll forward a bit because we're quite far away from each other. Okay, so again, skirmish line tactics. Sonic's turned cold. He's not done anything wrong there. He's just turning cold because he feels like he's gone far enough in, and we don't want to be sucked out into this middle ground here. We'll let the Reds have that. And Sherman's done the same thing. He's turned away 20 miles away. Again, he's just put a 20-mile skirmish shot out just to posture these guys, push them away essentially. No harm in doing that. These planes get plenty of missiles. So there's no real risk. There's not too much risk of wasting missiles or anything like that. Again, this pair were a little bit close to each other. They've probably got the same radar warning. It could be that, or Uderosa could have been under orders to follow Fortnero at all times, like we were doing. So I don't know. I don't know the tactics. Small skirmish shooting from Raptor Boogeyman pair. You got one guy shoots again. It's just a 20-mile skirmish shot. It's not meant to kill anyone. Probably going in on Sonic. Boogeyman, he's quite far out, so he might not have got a warning from this missile. So he might still aggress, or he might follow Raptor back. Again, I don't know what the tactics were. So far everything's been great. We've got a nice 20-mile no man's land here, which again I think that's probably the most realistic way real fights would happen. Real life, no one's going to be stupid enough in real life, probably even in a stealth plane, to just charge into a skirmish and fight like a 5-year-old. They'll do it properly. You could say in real life they would be vectored around the sides. I imagine we were in fact being vectored around the sides by our GCI, but like I said, we just weren't in any shape to be taking orders. It was all panic stations at the moment, so we didn't, and we just stayed in a clump and we paid the price for it later. Right, Sonic's gone in. Sonic has split from his wingman Sherman, which is a bit annoying, but in combat it can be quite difficult to know where your wingman is. Elo and Cap did really well. We were together till the bitter end, basically. We've got a good lateral spread now, Cap and Elo, so that's really good work. Good to see. All Reds cold at the moment. They're working on they've got a really long chainsaw, about a 20-mile length chainsaw, which is nice to see. The longer the chainsaw, the safer it is. It may not be as effective, but it's very safe. Our chainsaw is about a 10-mile chainsaw. You can see we're going from about here to here. Now, one mistake you can see so far is our blue chainsaw has been a bit more aggressive than the red chainsaw. And what we're doing is we're pushing the Reds back towards their carrier. Now, we don't want to do that. We're not here to gain territory at all. We're here to really just defend our fleet. So really, we should have the long chainsaw, a more relaxed chainsaw, and we could have then fed it back slowly, let them push us back. Letting them push us back would be good. Not very natural, but it would have been good for us. Instead, we're the aggressors, and we're trying to get ourselves into the fight. Right, Cap and Elo wingmen are back in next. So we've got Cap here. I don't see Coffee. He is Angels 3. I'm just not picking him. Okay, I've just got him at the last minute. Again, Coffee decided he didn't want anything. He didn't want to shoot anything at that point, so he's going back now to find his wingman. I think that's Wolf. I think Cap's out. I'm a little bit too aggressive. I've gone in too fast, and I haven't. Elo hasn't been able to catch up, as you can see. One tiny thing there. I mean, my I always say, I mean, you're pretty safe. In a group like this, who've got proper tactics like we're doing at the moment, proper cover tactics, you're pretty safe. It's pretty hard to actually get killed. The only way to get killed is to essentially, like I said, be a 5-year-old and just charge into the skirmish. None of us are going to do that. So we're pretty safe. However, I'm still using lone tactics because I'm used to. I trained as a solo, fighter. So I'm burning in at 550 knots on my burner, whereas Elo's using more conservative safe tactics, and he's flying around at 400 knots. Now, my way is definitely the best way in a small group, a pair, or a single. You have to be going fast. I've said it a million times to stay alive. But in a big safe group like this with an organisation, you could say you probably could survive without going fast, and it would severely increase the endurance of the group, because if you're staying on military power, apart from when you absolutely have to go on full power. Okay, so let's carry on anyway. We've got a long shot from Sherman. Again, just a 20-mile trade. Raptor, 20-mile trade. Long skirmish shooting. No one's actually trying to really kill each other at the moment. When they fire those missiles, you know there's no way that missile's going to hit, because no one's stupid enough to run into it. You are literally just using group tactics. You're pushing that group away, keeping them away. You don't want that guy getting close enough to be able to kill someone. And this will go on now for as long as it takes until the jets are out of fuel, until the jets are out of missiles. It's really good to see. Still, we've got that 20-mile no man's land skirmish corridor here, beautifully maintained. Now the red GCI is finally starting to pull his socks up. You can see he sent 4 Tornero Uderosa pair out to the west, I think that's west, and Boogeyman's been ordered round the east. And that's proper tactics, because we're going to get stuck in this group here because we haven't done that. We should have done that. It's our fault. We weren't listening. Whereas these guys can come in and pincer, and pincer is always 10 times as effective as a clump. With a clump facing outwards, it's very hard to fight like that. Much better to fight like this, because we've got nowhere to run. If a guy's coming in from this side, we're going to try and run away by going that way, which means we're going to run into the guns of these guys. So you can already see the tactics shaping up with the reds here. It's taken about 5 or 6 minutes to get this far. Sonic was the most aggressive one. I think he's in now for his shot. Now he's got to be careful now, because he's got side flankers coming from the side here, which will be outside his radar scope. So lucky Boogeyman hasn't seen him. We've got a bit of a closer shot here. So people are starting to get frustrated. Sonic's starting to get a little bit frustrated now. So he's he's getting into 10 miles, which is starting to get him within kill range. So he's wanted a kill shot. Again, that's not what we should be doing. We shouldn't really be trying to even kill these guys. We should just be group tactics, keep the group perfectly safe, watch your wingman, keep long bombing, keep the hostiles away. We're in no, we don't need to kill these guys at all. We just need to run their fuel down, run the weapons down, and we've done our job. And that's almost as effective as actually killing them. And killing them is dangerous. Doing this kind of slow chainsaw is not dangerous. It's completely safe to do. So Sonic might get himself in trouble now. He's lucky, I think, Boogeyman hasn't seen him. So these shots were traded. Again, they were never really going to work. They were 10-mile plus shots, and these guys were already essentially had their eyes on going defensive. So Sonic now, what we're going to see, so I guess, I think Sonic's the kind of oddball out here. He wants to be in the fight, whereas we're being sensible and looking after each other. So what Sonic should be doing as part of the group, he should be heading about 20 miles, being patient. It's hard for a fighter pilot to be patient. Back with the group, communicate with his pairman, which is all the 10 miles back here, and then come in when he's safe. But I get the feeling he's going to break down. So this is where the Blues started breaking down. They started losing discipline at this point. I guess Sonic's the first to be picked off, we shall see. Boogeyman's on a nice little march here, down below. A really good technique for these altitude engagements, just to send someone down to belly chop. The only problem is he's a little low. A little high. He should be 50 feet off the ground, coming at kind of this angle if you want to come in. And you can be almost invisible to radar if you get down low like that. He's decided he doesn't want the fight. He's seen Cap come in. Haha, hello. So, this might be the first proper kill, and it's a proper group kill here. You can see I haven't chased off like a 5-year-old on my own to try and kill him. I've killed him as a group. So I've come in, I've got my wingman pair 1 mile behind me, where Ganzello's looking after me, plus I've made sure I'm in the group. I haven't shot off on my own. And we forced a mistake by this guy. Boogeyman came in on his own. He was the wild card here. And we forced him into an error. And we're going to kill him without putting any danger to ourselves. And that's what you want to do. You want to be killing stuff, if you have to kill stuff, without putting any danger on yourself. And let's see what happens. So I've shot at 6 miles. 6 miles is a little bit ambitious on a cold / flanking target. It's about a half a mile too far, but we'll see. The missile's fast. It's got energy. It's 2,000 knots. It might still get him. I forced Boogeyman to into a mistake there. So he was heading away. Had this missile, I think, was probably just about going to catch him up, and he realised it. So he's now had to abort his cold pass. And because he's so far out and away from everyone, he's got no help. Coffee's helping him. You can see Coffee realises the problem, and he's firing his missile on Cap. But he's 20 miles away. Doesn't worry me at all. So Boogeyman's put himself in this danger, basically, and he can't get out. And this missile has forced him to turn away from being defensive, so it's forced him to go actually flanking or go aggressive. And that's a dead Boogeyman at that point, because we are going to plough missiles into him now to get the kill shot. So this is the first sniff of proper blood. Again, like I said, defensive shot here from Coffee, but I'm not falling for it. And you see, I go absolutely mental with my missiles here. That is a mistake. You should only ever fire one missile at once. I'm not used to flying the flanker, I can't fly it. And I couldn't tell how to tell if your missiles had fired. It turns out there was a little light on the dashboard that tells you, but I didn't realise that, so I just kept clicking the button and waiting for a sound. I couldn't get the sound, so I ended up salvoing. But never mind, these things happen. And you can see Ello doing his job perfectly. Me and Ello communicating. He's the wingman. He's giving me a backup. He's putting a fox in as well. That's fine. One shot from each man. That's good tactics. Merlin, I don't think Merlin's really know what's going on here, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So that's lovely stuff. And one of those, and Boogeyman's got no chance at this point. He's down below 500 knots. He's flanking, and I'm within 4 miles. That is well within kill range. So all of these missiles, I imagine, are going to take him down. Nothing he can do. Pow. So that's great shooting. And it was a tactical error from Boogeyman. He came in too hard. He was seen by me, and that was the end of him, really. I made sure that he paid for it. Unfortunately, I wasted all my missiles there, which is annoying, but that's the way it goes. I got a missile coming in here. Now, I was aware that that was just a warning shot, and I was never worried about being killed by it, so I'm probably going to turn away from it now. And there we go. And I've got a good half-mile safety margin there. Okay, Merlin saw all the action. He decided not to get involved. I think he realised we had it covered, but all those missiles coming out had huge smoke trails, so I think he was saving his ammo. We also had an ER out there from Sherman. Sherman's very conservative, sitting back, long bombing. Nothing wrong with that. So he's just doing his job as part of the group. It was enough to send Coffee cold. Merlin is now pushing the group forward. Cap and Ello, you see, Ello knows exactly what I'm doing, so he turns with me. So Ello's always looking after me, and he'll eventually let me overtake him. I'll get back in the lead, and then we'll join together. Sherman and Sonic are roughly kind of together, so they're starting to get back together. Sonic's pulled out now, which is good. So he's getting back on his task. Berwick is burning in from the carriers, just joining us. Going to try and join up with Merlin and help Merlin out. So, next is all about Merlin. Let's hope he doesn't get too involved and get too ambitious. No, I think he's turning cold. So he's turned cold, and he's had nothing fired at him, so he's done that out of his own ingenuity. So he's turning cold as part of the chainsaw, part of the group collective. So that's great to see him not get too excited. Sherman's coming in from his aggressive run. He's got really fast, 700 knots. Unbeknownst to him, he's got nothing to shoot at because the only hot targets are out here. So our GCI is now going to tell us, because our GCI, we've got a full-time GCI, and our AWACS is going to pick up these guys here. So he's going to tell Sherman there's guys coming in from the west. I think that's the west. And I expect Sherman now is going to go and get right on that. Probably Sonic 2. And Berwick and Merlin pair. So everyone's in the pairs now. Isn't that great to see? Cap, Gonzalo communicating, me taking the lead. Berwick, Merlin together in their wingman pair. Sonic, Sherman, their wingman pair. Fortinero, Uderoso, wingman pair. Coffee Wolf, Shadow, wingman pair. And Raptor's on his own because his wingman got shot down, obviously. So absolute excellence all round. I can't really fault anything so far, which is great. That makes my job easy. Anyway, we've got a long shot from Berwick. It's not that long, actually. It's 13 miles. Again, he probably knows that's not going to kill them, but what he's doing is pushing them away. He doesn't want them anywhere near our group, so he's giving them a long shot just to push them away. And they're close together, so he's probably going to put both of them away with that radar warning. As well, we've got Sherman. Sherman, that's a much better shot. Let's have a look at him. So that's 10 miles again. With the altitudes we're talking about, probably an average of Angel 7 Imperial. That's not a valid shot. You'd need to be 8 miles for a valid shot. So again, it's somewhere between a kill shot and a posturing skirmish shot, and it should do their job in sending these guys cold. These guys fire as well. These guys are on the aggressive here, where we're on the defensive, but they've had to go defensive now because we've sent the missiles out. This missile shouldn't really hit anyone. Yeah, Sonic's over on top of that. Sonic turned a small error there. Let's just have a look at that. Small error from Sonic that he burnt off. I saw him do this last time when he was flying. I don't like the way he turns. He doesn't turn aggressive enough for me. So you can see he's turning away. Nice, but you've really got to be pulling into the 9Gs to beat missiles, especially at 10 miles. And you've got to be going fast as well. 400, getting below 4. He's probably going to go below 450. Let's see. So yeah, it's getting below 450. That's a little bit too slow. Missiles love slow turning targets. You've got to be way above 500, 600, if possible 700 would be great. To do that, you've got to be burners on, and you've got to be heading down. You've got to accept when you turn, you're going to lose some height. You're going to trade that potential energy of height into kinetic energy into speed. That's what beats missiles. So Sonic was turning not enough G, not enough speed. Got to be down. So watch this and learn. Down 600-700 knots. Make it uncomfortable with yourself. Make sure you're almost blacking out. That's how you should be. And then that missile would have had no chance at all, rather than being close, and he would have been out here by now. So it's something important to learn. You can't do these things half-assed, or you will start to get shot down. Sherman and Berwick, great work there. They've done their job. They've sent these guys cold. They completely scuppered these guys' plan. We know they're there now. We've got men on it. Nothing out to the east wing here. Cap and Elo have decided, okay, we've had enough. Cap's taking the lead again. I'm always the lead in the pair. We're heading back in. Elo's following me by eye. We've now got Hot Coffee Wolf Shadow pair coming in, and they are coming toward Sherman Sonic pair. Sonic never really recovered from that turn. Look, he's kind of lost situational awareness now. A good trade there. So what did we have there? So things are starting to get a little tighter now, as this always happens. So at the beginning, you have a lovely 20-mile skirmish. Then things start breaking down. People get impatient. People get tired. It's really exhausting doing this, even though it's only on a computer and you're not pulling any Gs. You've got so many inputs to take in that it's bloody knackering doing this for more than 10 minutes. So let's have a look at this then. So Sherman's happy he sent these guys cold for now, and he can have a pop at these guys. And now we're getting into proper aggressive shots. People want to start killing each other now. They're less worried about their own safety. So we've got Sherman here, low, dangerously low. I don't like people that low when taking missile shots. He's not low enough to be a belly shot, so he's just low. So why is low bad? It's low energy for the shot, and it's hard for you to turn around. Like I said, when you're turning around, getting away from missile, you always want to go down. Not completely down maybe, but at least mostly down. And you can't go down from 3,000 feet. That's straight into the water. So he's put himself at a big deficit. So the safer thing to do with Sherman, rather than firing at these guys and then go straight into combat with these guys, it would have been safer to follow Cap. Ella's example, shoot these guys, then turn away 20 miles. That's where you regain your height. See, we're up to Angel's 10 just about, and we'll keep getting higher without using any burner, without using any fuel. So they've put themselves at a massive disadvantage here. And this is where mistakes start getting made and where people start dying. So next time, don't go from one fight straight into the other, where you've lost all your energy from the dive. You head out, regain your composure, put energy back in the jet, potential energy back in the jet that you can use in the fight, then come back in. There's no harm at all in doing that. You're completely safe. You know that the overlap pair are going to be protecting you. So, that's criticism then. But like we said, we knew this always happens. Everyone gets worn down in the end. Coffee and Shadow, perfectly formed up. Again, they're low. I don't know why they're so low. I guess there's some reason for it. All fights, again, almost all fights, especially dogfights, end up going from high down to low. You remember it started off at Angels 20, Angels 16, thereabouts, and went down low. That's because it's hard to put height, which is potential energy, back into the jet. You have to burn off speed if you want to do that. Therefore, fights will always digress down to the ground, which is where things start getting a little dangerous. Anyway, talked enough about that. So, Sherman's on the deck, essentially. Coffee's on the deck. So, what is a kill rate? We know from our mathematics, on our charts that a kill shot is 6.5 miles. So again, they're still being a little bit safe, which is fine. Don't need to charge in and kill people. 8-mile shot, it will still put the scuppers up them. So let's have a shot. Fire and fire. They trade ERs. Sherman was away beautifully there. Coffee a little slow. You've got to pull as soon as the close missile comes in, and you pretty much know when it's a close missile. You got to be pulling. Sherman's is a beautiful pull. Although he had no potential energy in his jet, he's got enough speed to do a 9G turn there. Perfect 9G turn. Coffee looks like it's going to be a little bit slow, but I may be wrong. So Coffee is happy that 6G is going to do it, and 500 knots. And he was right. The countermeasures and the turn did it. However, like I said, always put that 9G in. Be safe than sorry. Look how much Sherman has beat that missile over what Coffee has beat that missile. If they were a mile closer, Sherman would have dodged that missile. Coffee would have been killed. So, really got to put the effort in when doing those turns. It's very uncomfortable, but there you go. Okay, you see we're coming, but we've got our potential energy back in our jets, and we're heading back in. Berwick and Merlin have kind of got the middle ground. They've got this annoying thing that happens sometimes when they don't know what they're doing, don't know what their task is, and so they're just sitting here spinning around in circles. And that's very bad. Spinning around circles is very bad. You might get a bit of radar coverage, but you really are you're wasting time, you're not achieving anything. And when you're spinning around in circles, you put yourself at a huge risk. It's easy to sneak up on you. You want to have distance from the target to be able to find them on radar. The further away a radar target is, to an extent, the easier it is to find. So, rather than spinning around in circles here, they really should have gone back, done what Kappa and Elo have done, turned back 20 miles and come in fresh and ready. So, watch this and learn by it. Sherman and Sonic have now engaged. They should now be going 20 miles. I don't want to see them turning round here and re-engaging, getting themselves shot. The Reds have kept their composure perfectly. They've kept their long-distance chainsaw perfectly. They haven't been worn down. Blues, these four, have been worn down, and they're just sitting in this area now, spinning around. And that's really bad to see, and they will get killed. Right, let's carry on. Fortinero's back on the aggressive. Fortinero and Udorosa have broken up. It's not the end of the world. It means they can't cover each other, but so Wolf Shadow's turned away. I didn't notice when that happened or why, but he has. Coffee's back on the aggressive. Now this is a lovely move from the Reds. Fortinero, I don't know if they knew they were doing it, but Coffee and Fortinero have come in for a 90-degree pincer on Sherman. Very hard to dodge. The only way that Sherman can survive and live now is full burn at that angle, and it's very hard for him to know what's going on. So Sherman, unless he goes full burn towards the carrier, he will get shot now. He is going full burn. It's 660 knots. I don't think it's going to survive though. This flanking. Oh dear. He killed himself. That's disappointing. Didn't know this happened. Let's have a look at that. It's turning. 7G. 600 knots. Now, that's interesting. So, it appears, I wasn't aware that this happened, but it appears that a flanker will break up in air above 650 knots at only 7 Gs. So he wasn't pulling a big G, but he was pulling it when he was fast. Now you can do that in an F-15, you can't do it in a flanker. So that's something I've learned today. So that makes some of my things about fast 700 knot turns wrong for a flanker. So it looks like you do have to turn a bit slower for a flanker then. That's a sad way to die. Yeah, 660 knots, and it was just enough to break the wings off. So, that's something to pay attention to then. Got to be careful when we have to factor it in when flying flankers. That can be overcome with group tactics. The lack of fast turn ability. In an F-15, you could do that at 800 knots turn. Anyway. So I think Sonic and Berwick are finally getting back into the game, and they're starting to head back now, which is good. Merlin is on the aggressive defending against Fortinero. I get a feeling Sherman was probably a dead man anyway, to be honest. Criticism of Merlin. He's in the middle of the battlefield now. He shouldn't really be there anyway. He should be going in or out. Nothing else. So he's been spinning around and he's in the middle of the battlefield, so he'll probably be the next to die. The biggest criticism, though, his speed. He's below 500 knots. True, which means his airspeed is even lower, probably 400 knots. You should never be 400 knots in the middle of a fight, especially in the middle of a fight like this. He'll know by his GCI he's in danger area. He is now officially a sitting duck. So we'll see what happens. He might get a shot on this guy, but he's usually a dead man when you see him cruising around like this. These two are doing good now. They're pulling out. to be covered by overlap of Cap and Elo. Fortinero, luckily for Merlin, has shot these guys, Cap and Elo. It's not going to be any danger. It was what? Okay, it was 7, yeah, so it's getting a little closer now. It was an 8-mile shot at us. It's almost within kill range, that is. So we are going to have to maneuver Elo and Cap to beat this. Now, what's Merlin doing? He's just flying above Fortinero. That's a bit disappointing to see. He's going fast now, which is good. But he's just flown right past the aggressor. That was a shame. Elo's done a nice pull away. He went a bit slow for my liking, but it was never under any real threat. And it was a good split S. That was so a little bit slow, but it was a good move. It was down, it was split S. He did everything with his countermeasures, everything he needed to do to beat that missile. And that's good. Cap, I didn't realise Fortinero was firing. I thought it was this guy that was firing. So I cocked up a bit there. If I'd realised it was that guy that was firing, I would have shot him 4 miles away and killed him. So that was a bit annoying. And Merlin's still just flying around in completely the wrong way. It's just flying west now in the middle of the fight. Completely, absolutely wrong. Gotta be going out or going in. Don't dilly-dally along like this and wait for someone to shoot you. Right, Cap's firing now. So I thought this was the aggressor. So I'm going to fire him now. And then if I've got any sense in me, I will turn around and run away. Stand by. And it's a 7-mile shot. It's an okay shot. It's just about... Yeah, it is within parameters. Average of Angel 5. That is a kill shot. So I'm fast. I'm 660 knots. I'm turning away now. Little do I know, I'm turning right into Fortinero. Fortinero's had a pop at Gonzello again, but that shit... Oh, I got him! Look at that! Oh, I didn't know that happened. I got 2 kills. Cap got 2 kills. This is... And I don't even fly a flanker. I'm happy with that now. Ooh, well, we're going to analyse the shit out of this then, aren't we? Right, I fire at 7.2 miles, so let's do the math. Let's see how right I got this. I'm at 660 knots. Perfect. Pretty much as fast as a loaded flanker will go. Max speed, not leaving anything to chance. Exactly what you should be. I've come in aggressive from a big ingress. I haven't been pissing about flying sideways around in circles. That's good. That absolutely maxes my chances of staying alive and killing a bad guy. Less time for the bad guy to see me. I found my target. I've locked him up. I've decided he's low. I'm Angels 8. That's an average of Angels 5. We do the maths. If Angels 20 is 10 miles on a hot target. If deck is 6.5 miles on the target, then Angels 5 is about 7.5 miles. So I've got the parameters just right. He might still be able to dodge that if he turns very quickly, but it's potentially a kill shot. And of course it was. And let's see the absolute pristine beauty of Cap getting his second kill. The missile wasn't that fast. It never reached 2,000 knots, so it wasn't actually a particularly good missile. Oh, let's see if I even put lead on it. I might have even put lead on it. Whoopsie. I'm aware that we're dwelling on this a bit, but I very rarely get to kill people because I'm usually flapping around sorting them out. I even put lead on it. Look at that. So it's very important, this guy here, firing, you aim your vector of your aircraft in front of that guy, where this guy and the missile are likely to intercept. If I trace that line, my line through here, pow, it hits there. That's where I'm facing there. I've done that on purpose, because that's where my missile wants to be. Therefore, I've given the missile no work to do. It has to just fly along that line. It doesn't have to curve into him. If I was facing towards him, which is the natural thing to do, the missile would have to curve right. It would burn off speed, less effective missile, hostile can dodge it. So one more time. Look at it, and you can... Right, just one more little thing to point out. And you can see how that missile... I fired an ET. I didn't realise that. You see how close it is to my path of travel, that blue line. And that proves the concept that it cannot have to turn at all. That allows it to get maximum speed. In this case, it's neat. It's a big missile. Has got, you can see, just under 2,000 knots. Exactly what the missile is doing. It's doing no work at all. And you can see how close it is to my thing there. So note that and do that, and you will kill guys. Just slow that down so we can see the glory of the kill. It's an ET, so it is a self-homing missile, so Coffee gets no warning about this. Hence why he's only dodged at the last minute. No, he's not dodged. He's not seen it come. He's accidentally put his belly to it and hasn't seen the missile coming. And it's wondrous. Well done, Cap. That's what we like to see. Merlin's got himself in trouble. He was flying in no man's land, and he's being hunted now. It was Uderosa. He was too far away. You can see he's getting away, and he's fast. So he is finally getting his wits about him. He's heading cold to the fleet, and he's 700 knots. So he will survive. He will survive like that. Cap is turning away, exactly like we're supposed to do. I'm heading away. Berwick, I don't know where Berwick's come from. But hopefully we'll see him taking out Ford and Arrow. We shall see. So let's run that through. So Sonic Dust is coming on an overlap for Cap. He's having a pop at Uderosa to help Merlin out. That is an 8-mile shot. It's just about within kill parameters. So at the worst, it's going to send Uderosa quiet. Berwick had a bit of a mess here. He should have been all over Fortinero. The range is 3 miles. He can see him at that distance. He wouldn't even need his radar. So it was a bit of a mistake from Berwick there. Lost his awareness. Didn't see Fortinero. So Fortinero should have been taken out on his path through here. On Fortinero's side, he has got speed. Remember how important speed is. It keeps you alive. Raptor's been out for a while, but he's now come back in. He's had a shot at someone, but I don't know who. So we can't really analyse that. Sonic does another shot. He kind of put them in the wrong order. What you tend to do is put an ER out first and an ET behind it as a disguise shot. He sent it in the other order. So I don't think, and due to that, I don't think this ER really is any use. But a small change, really. That missile from Raptor is going for Sonic. So Sonic, he hasn't really dodged fast enough. He should have been dodging earlier. He's got a bit transfixed by killing this guy, but we'll see. He's in trouble. He's going to get himself in trouble. He hasn't dodged. And he is getting a warning. That's a radar-guided missile. So he's got a little bit greedy there. But luckily, he's cleared it. I've got another one out now. This one is 5 miles. This is almost pretty much a kill shot from Raptor now. So Sonic can't carry on ignoring these missiles. He's now got to get cold, take action. He will die. He's got target fixation, as we call it. When you see someone, you desperately want to kill them, you just focus, get tunnel vision, and you forget about everything else. Pilot's worst nightmare. And he's not going to dodge. He's going to get shot. He survived that by blind luck. He should have been shot there. That missile, something went wrong with it. So that's good. Berwick's been doing bad lately. He let Fortinero drive right past his windscreen. And now Raptor, he should have taken out a while ago. Raptor's been sitting here flinging missiles at Sonic. Big smoke plumes. Berwick should have picked that up a while ago and nailed him. And again, Berwick's doing exactly what you're not supposed to do. He's sitting here spinning around in circles. He will die from this. You go out, you go in. You go out, you go in. Got to start listening. It's going to turn into a dogfight, so it's getting really ugly now. And Raptor is just a better man in the dogfight by the looks of it. And he's killed him. And that is all Berwick's fault. He wasn't doing group tactics. He was in here spinning around. Like I said, that person, if you ever see someone doing that, they'll always be killed. They'll never win. You've got to go. I said it 5 times. I don't need to go into it anymore. Sonic has got just plain greedy now. He just wants to kill this guy. There's no way he can kill him. He's running cold. He's going to probably be over 4 miles. Yeah, you can't kill anyone at 5.5 miles chasing them. So it's just plain got greedy, and he will die. Fortinero will eventually find him and kill him. So, big mistakes happening. The Blues have completely gone to pot now. They're not following their training anymore. They're just shooting anything they can see. Berwick spinning around in circles. Sonic... Oh, where did Elo go? Elo died. Right, we're going to have to see Elo in a minute. Sonic's got target fixation. We've just got to scroll back a little bit to see how Elo died. Oh, dear. Oh, the classic. The classic. Great fighting from Fortinero here. Now, watch what he does. He found his target. And this is why I'm about to show you why you don't turn back into combat straight away. Why you should run, get distance. Watch this. Fortinero fires an ER missile at Elo. That's a radar-guided missile. It will give a radar warning on Elo's console. Elo knows he's been fired at, so he turns away. Does a lovely job. A little bit slow for my liking, but it's all good. Perfectly safe. Nothing can kill him now. So, all he's got to do now is run away and let his buddies, Sonic, Dust, Cap, Berwick, take care of this guy. But he hasn't. He's turned straight back in. Very, very bad. So what he's done really is just done a big circle. And I keep going at you how bad that is, how absolutely terrible it is. And he's going to pay the price, because what Fortinero's done is he's done his old trick of firing ET for the warning. A couple of seconds later, firing a radar-guided missile as a warning. And then when this guy thinks he's safe, 2 seconds later he puts an ET in, which is does not give a warning signal. And what was his LO fall into that trap because he doesn't know this has been fired and it's going to go straight into it. So, lesson to learn there is do what I say. Don't go in circles. It's going to get taken out and doesn't see it coming. Pow. It's all his own fault. What he'll say is, well, I want it to stick with cap, and that's fine. That makes sense. Again, though, the only thing that would have kept you alive is a nice big 10-mile transit out and then come back in. Going around in circles, you're going to get caught out. And we've seen it again and again. Almost every blue has died so far due to exactly that same reason. The reds haven't made that mistake. Look, Wolf Shadow, perfectly happy to go 30, 20 miles back, and he's safe, and he's an effective unit. So, let's get back to where we were. Right, getting back, so this is where Tonic gets fixation. We were trying to talk him out of it. We're saying, Sonic, get out, and he's going, no, I don't want to get out. I want to get my kill, and he will die. And he somehow survived. That is amazing. With missiles just going around him. He's had a shot, but it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. You cannot kill a cold target unless you're within 4 miles. We all know that. Everyone knows that. Been through it a million times. Yet it's still determined to chase Udorosa. He cannot kill Udorosa. Unless Udorosa makes a really stupid mistake, turns around. He's not going to do that. He's experienced. If this CER doesn't kill him, then I'll be amazed. Other than that, Merlin, Tender, he's nothing as a Harrier. So it's just Merlin, Cap's all that's left, and we're heading out on a proper, sensible leg. You see, Cap comes in, does a kill, turns around, goes out. I don't spin around in circles. I don't get greedy and chase someone. You've got to listen and do that. Don't go out slow. Go out fast when you're in danger. 700 knots. Right, next. This is going to be Sonic's death. Would you believe it? Just flew straight by him. Okay, well, someone's got to get him. I don't know why all these missiles are missing. That we saw, that was Berwick's fault for spinning around in circles. We saw that. Again, more shots from Sonic. Why? If the last 20 shots haven't hit him at the same parameters, the next 20 shots aren't going to hit him. It's all bad flying. And Fortinero, I don't know why it's took him so long, but he thinks this is a good guy, and he's finally realised it's a bad guy. Fortinero finally coming to Sonic. Sonic really should have died 10 minutes ago. It's only God's grace that he survived. Again, more shots on Udorosa. Why? What's going to be different this time? The parameters are all the same. And it's going to be a kill. Fortinero finally gets his act together. Finally Sonic's got the picture. He's not going to kill this guy. But, too late. You've put yourself in a dogfight now, and you're going to lose. ET coming out from someone. Doesn't really matter. It's toast. So, Berwick, bad death. Sonic, bad death. Elo, it is pretty bad death because you just went around in a circle at the end of the day. You only got yourself to blame. Sherman, a stupid death, but to be fair, we probably didn't even know that this plane explodes because we never fly it. Merlin is RGB, and it's just up to me now, so I've got to take on 4 guys, which is going to be extremely not good. But I'll give it my best shot. So we're up against Raptor. 10 miles away. We're getting within kill parameters now. We're within 8 miles now, and average angels of 7. So we are now within kill parameters of each other. Capital's on the crank. Now heading for the shot. See, I'm aiming ahead of him. Exactly what you wanted? No. No. Okay, I had problems with the shot, or for whatever reason I didn't take it. And I'm going to bail out. So that's a 5-mile shot. I can't really dodge that. 5 miles at an average angels of 7 is a kill. I'll try and do a 9G pull, but even that probably won't do it. So let's look at Cap trying to survive. Got 570 knots. 7G. 8G. Turn is good. Gaining speed again. 600 knots. Reverse left. But the problem is the rocket motor is still going. It's still over 1,000 knots. There's not really much I can do to beat it. I could have kept turning left. You could argue I didn't quite go down enough. I only went down 1,000 feet. I should have gone down lower. Maybe it would have given me some more energy. And that is me out. So, that's a shame. And Merlin goes back to base, but he doesn't play any further part because one flanker against forward is a bit silly. So, all in all, probably the best fight we've ever done. Started off beautifully. I mean, the Reds were always going to do well because they're the experienced guys, so I'm not going to worry about them. There's nothing I can really tell them that they don't know. The Blues started off really well. Perfectly conservative, looking out for each other, working as a team, listening to GCI, and using group tactics. But it descended into 5-year-oldness again. Guys charging in, not liking what they're seeing, instead of charging out, sitting in circles because they refuse to go home because of stubbornness. Can't do that. You'll die. Guys charging in and then chasing people through a haze of red guys because they want their kill. That's a 5-year-old. Doesn't work. Can't do that. You'll die. Merlin survived, but only by God's grace. He was mincing about. He got into the middle of the combat and was flying slowly west across here. Should have died, but didn't. Got out in the end. That was bad. Shouldn't have seen that. Everyone else, and Elo made a mistake, as you saw. Everyone else was doing it good. In, out, nothing else. And you can say, well, what about a flanking maneuver? Yeah, fine, do your flanking maneuver, but again, in, out. Don't do a flanking maneuver and then sit and spin around in circles until you're dead. You've got to do it right. So, listen to this, be embarrassed, learn, and next time, we'll do it even better. Wow, that was probably the longest fight we've ever seen in terms of actual fight and in terms of debrief. But there's always stuff to learn and reiterate. Have we got anything else to look at? Well, let's have a think. The Vegans go back again. But they make exactly the same error. Here they come, Vegans, and they fire the missiles, and the missiles, instead of going that way, go that way, because they cut their waypoints up, or whatever it is, I don't understand. There's nothing more to say on that, that's what happened. Tender is the only, there were 2 Harriers, one guy is a new guy, and he just he flew and crashed, so that's what happens with the new guys, unfortunately. So it's just up to Tender, and Tender was bombing these subs, he killed 1, I think. But the rest just didn't die. I saw direct hits with 250-pound bombs. It would have cut those. Should have cut those subs in half, but they're not working clearly. So we couldn't kill them, and then we gave up at that point because there's not much point. All we had was 1 Harrier left. So never mind. Pretty crap mission. At least we had a big cool fight in there. We'll do another one of these at some point, but we'll have more time to test it, get everything working, and yeah, should be more enjoyable. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this and learnt some good lessons, because it always is. See you later.